Hello YouTube preppers, this is the Comms Prepper. In this video, I'm working on my camper project again. If you saw my last video, you saw that I was upgrading the off-grid solar power charge controller with a MPPT controller with the ultimate goal of installing an HF and VHF station here in the camper. But in this video, I want to cover a new product from Chameleon Antennas. They were kind enough to ship me one, and that's their CHA-PORTA-MAST. This is a lightweight aluminum mast that one person can handle. It comes with an assortment of mounting plates. This one here is the type of plate where you park your camper tire on it. It has to be level. I don't have the best spot here, which is why the mast itself is a little bit crooked, but for the purposes of this video it'll work. I don't have any radios in the camper yet, but what I did want to touch on is how I'm going to use this mast to support my Starlink internet. For those of you who go camping, you know that the real estate at a campground site can be somewhat limited, and you don't want people tripping over your equipment or touching it or walking off with it. So I decided to use the CHA-PORTA-MAST to elevate my Starlink antenna, which they affectionately call Dishy McFlatface. And what I did here is I ordered a Starlink pipe adapter that comes a little bit flared. I guess it's designed like that so it can fit on multiple size pipes with some set screws. But that kind of created a wobbly mount. So I went ahead and 3D printed an insert. I hope you can see that there, that white part, that gets rid of that taper and perfectly aligns with the top of this mast. Now, since I don't have any radios in here and I can't really hook up any antennas right now, what I am going to demonstrate in this video is how I put the Starlink antenna on this mast and elevate it. Now, this mast has wind loading guidance in the manual, and I'll put a link down below to the manual. I'm not 100% confident in my math abilities to tell you what the wind load is of a Starlink antenna. So I only use the first section in this. I don't put it all the way up, because as you get higher, the sections get a little bit smaller. But even with just one section extended, it's more than adequate to put the dish above the roof line of my camper and any other campers that might be in the area. So let me take a pause here. We'll get the antenna mounted and I'll show you how this works. All right, something I forgot to mention before you do any of this is you want to go into your Starlink app and stow your dish. So under settings in the app, there's an option, if you scroll down, to stow. And what this does is it kind of parks the antenna so it's safe to move. And I'm assuming it protects the motors and the gears and things like that. So I'm going to hit the stow button to put this in position. And it will also make it easier to elevate the antenna when I push the mast up. And now it's stowed. Be right back. Okay, here you can see the Starlink antenna connected to its factory base with the 3D printed adapter that gives you a nice fit on the CHA-PORTA-MAST. Since I don't have a cameraman, I can't videotape myself pushing the mast up, but I will insert a screenshot. The locking mechanism is internal to each section, and you go all the way up, maybe an inch higher than static, give it a slight turn counterclockwise and set it down, and it locks into place. It's a very positive feeling connection. It's not like you're twisting it down and tightening it up. You just come up one twist, set it down, and you can feel it lock in a position. And when you're done, just pull up, give it a twist clockwise, and it'll slowly lower down into the tube. So I'm going to go ahead and push this up and show you what it looks like. Well, there's the Starlink antenna on top of the CHA-PORTA-MAST. As you can see there, it's the optional Starlink pipe adapter with my 3D printed part, and I'll put a link down below if you want to download the STL for that from Thingiverse. The dish is still in the stow position, so I'm going to go into the app and unstow it so the antenna can return to its optimum look angle for communicating with the low Earth orbit satellites on Starlink. Let's hit the unstow button now. Now it may do some other internal adjustments. Yeah, that was a little bit of an adjustment, and I'm going to call that good. So it's found some satellites, it's looking straight up, and I guess based on your position on the planet determines what the angle is of that dish. And as you can see, it could be down flat or horizontal, which has all sorts of variable wind loading characteristics, which is why I'm only putting up the one section here. But it seems to be working just fine. Because all this equipment is very expensive, I encourage you to do your own calculations and make your own decision whether or not you want to put a Starlink antenna on top of a mast like this. I feel very comfortable doing it. Now, Chameleon Antennas has also provided me their new F-loop version 3.0 that I want to demonstrate here on the channel. I wanted to get the mast up and set up first, and they also provided the remote tuner for that antenna, so I can actually put the loop antenna on top of this mast and remotely tune it from inside the camper. It gives me an advantage of being above the roof line of the camper, but it also gives me an advantage that any of my neighbors at a campground or kids or pets won't be able to get access to my equipment, damage it, trip over it, things like that. And as you can see there, the antenna did a little bit more of an adjustment, but that's my intro video on the Chameleon antenna CHA-PORTA-MAST. And as always, thank you for watching my videos and subscribing to my channel. This has been the Comms Prepper with another camper update video. Thanks for watching, everybody.